Hello friends, welcome to IT Articles. Today we'll see how we can use the animation effect in CSS, how we can apply this animation with the help of CSS to any element in our page. Meanwhile, I'm creating directory for this new project. Make it sure that you have subscribed for my channel and don't forget to press this bell icon so that you can get my new videos notification as soon as I post them. Okay, so let's this create this directory, call it CSS animation. Here also we'll be creating two files as we have done earlier. I mean, one index.html for basic CSS and other file style.css which will have some style. Let's create some basic HTML structure of the page. We'll call animation in CSS and let's link this style sheet. Oh, I'll be creating one div and I'll be showing how we can apply some different animations on that div. So let's create one div. We'll call it div1. Let's use the same class here to have some CSS on this div, and that's height and width. So we'll be using 100 pixel height and 100 pixels as width, so it'll be a square. And let's have some border, 1 pixel solid, and let's use 111, or let's have 33222. Okay, so right now let's serve this page using live server. So this is our div that we have created. Now I'll be creating a different animation and then I'll be showing how we can apply that animation to this div. So to create this animation, we'll be using a keyframe, and here we'll be giving the name to this animation. So we'll call, let's say, slide. So slide is my animation name, and in animations you can give from which point you want to start your animations. I mean, when animation will start, how it will be, how it will look, and when it's reached to the final point, that is end point, and how it should look. Mean when it starts, so when start, what sort of CSS you want to apply here. You can apply some sort of CSS here, so you can customize your element, and then when it reaches to the endpoint, then also you can apply some CSS to the same element. Mean you can have some CSS here, and so this is the starting point and this is the end point, and then this will apply animation from this point to this one. Let's say here we have a height as 100 and here we have a height as a 200. So it will give you some animation effect which will be increasing your height from 100 to 200 pixel of your div. Let's use slide. Okay, so we'll be sliding this div. Here we have a, let's say, margin left as 0 pixels. We don't have any margin as of now, so if you see it's at the left side, or it's roughly touching the left edge of my this browser container. So we want when animation will start or should start, it should have the same margin left as 0 pixels, and we want when it reaches the final, it should have margin left as let's say 500 pixel. So now this is our animation that we have created, and this animation says that when the animation start, left margin should be 0, and when the animation completes, then the left margin should be 500 pixels. So Now the question is how we can apply this effect to this any container or any elements, here in our case on div1. So how we'll apply this animation and how much time this animation should take. So let's see how we can apply. We can use the animation name. Under the animation name, we'll be giving the name that we have declared here, so it's called slide. Then we'll say how much time it should take. So animation duration will say, let's say 2s means second, or you can say 2000 ms, so milliseconds. I mean, both are same, but if you want some more accuracy when you are playing with the milliseconds, you can use the ms, else you can use the s, that is short for second. So here I'm using 2s, that is 2 seconds. Let's save this file and come here. See, let's refresh and see. So it start from here, goes to here, and then jump back, means animation is applying. Why it's jump back here, that we'll discuss further, but animations is applied here, right? Let's use some more effect here itself, like we want some as we have some background color white initially, and then we want a background color as, let's say, grayish. Okay, see, so now in the same 2 seconds we have two effects. One is it's changing the left margin as well as it's changing the background color also. So this is how we can have different animations effect that you can apply on your div. So this is how we declare animations. Now in here we saw that it start with, we have just 2 and from and to, but what actually when someone wants in an intermediate label, you want some different things. This is start point, let's say 0, and this is, let's say 2, that is 100. So if we'll say it's as a 0% and it we'll call at 100%, then in case if they want some different effect on 50th percent or in between of these 2 points, how we can do. So for that, we can, instead of this keyword to and from, we can use the percentage, 0% and 100%. that give us flexibility that we can have n number of percentages in between, and we can have our different CSS. So what we want, initially we want it should go till 500 pics, then it should come back to the 500. Initially we want 550 left margin, then it should come back to the 500 margin. And let's change this to grayish. Okay, so let's make it grayish 555, and then we want to go back to the some lighter shade. Let's make it DDT. Okay, so let's see how it looks. Okay, so you can see it's a start, and it's going very fast till 550 left margin, then it came back to the left margin 500. Why? When it is going to the 550 pixels much faster, and when it's coming back to the this one, it's slower. The reason is because we have given the 2 seconds for the whole animations, and now when we are talking about the 50th percent, that's mean in 1 second it should reach, or it should complete this part in 1 second, then next 1 second it should complete this part. That's why it's little faster, or we can say it's faster in this animations. It's going very fast when it is going to the 50th percent, because it needs to cover the this 50th percent in 50% of the time, that's 1 second. Then remaining time, 50% time, that's 1 second, will be used to animate from this point to this point. So this is how we can have animations. You can create your own animations also. Let's say we want some animations where we want to have some box shadow, so we can have shadow, and we can have some box shadow here. Let's say box shadow we want. We want rad 0 pix, 0 pix, 5 pix and 10 pix. Then on 58%, or let's say directly on 100%, we want something, I mean, instead of rad, oh, box shadow, instead of red color we want some dark magenta color, and we want 10 and 15 as blur and spread. So still you can see this this one is not applied. Why? Because here we have just given the one animation name, not the other one. So how we can do that? Do you think that we should give like this? But you see it's broken now. If someone says how maybe if you think like we can give this like this one, then do you think it will work? No. First see, working this one, but this one is not working. Why? Because you know in CSS, if we have declared the same property two times, then the latter one will take the priority. So this one is overwriting this one slide, and so this shadow is overriding slide. That's why the slide is not working, but the shadow is working. If you refresh, you can see. So if we want the both effects simultaneously, so we should not give this type of property individually, we'll give all this together. So if you have animate and if you press tab, you can see the syntax of the animations. So one animation to, you know, I mean these are the different properties of the animations here. You can see it's a name, this is the duration, so how much time it will take. This is timing function. Timing function is like what sort of animation effect it should take when it's converting from starting point to the end point. And delay is in case if you want to start this animation after some time, after some milliseconds or 1 second. Iteration count is like how many times you want this animation to happen. I mean by default it's one, so you can see if you refresh, it give you the animations one time, then it goes off. So that is the iterations count. In case if you set iteration count to the 2, so it will give you, it will repeat this animation 2 times, so it will give you the red to magenta, then it reset red to magenta. Direction is like I mean how you want it to execute. You want it should go from 0 to 100, or you want 100 to the 0, I mean forward and backward. Fill mode is like what effect you want to apply on this, which key actually keyframe you want to apply on this div when it's done or when it's about to start. So we can, let's say, I mean this is which will control. Here you can see when the animation is done, it goes off and then the div comes back to its original position. But what in case if you want this animation to start and then it should give this 100% or this 100% keyframe effect, means you want this box shadow but it should not go away. That will be controlled by this one, fill mode. So you can set as forward, so the 100th keyframe will give the final effect, and in case if you set the backward, then it will give you the 0th keyframe effect. So I mean these are all the properties, but all are not mandatory. But two, I guess if you give this two, that will enough. Others are will be used default ones. So instead of these two lines, we can give these two properties in a single line called slide and 2 second here. So for the duration we'll give the 2 second. Let's remove this 2 and these two line also and see if we are getting this slide animations like we had earlier. Yes, we are getting it. So now what we can do is we can have another animation also separated by comma, and here we can have shadow. So now you can see it's both animations are applied here. You can see it's performing the slide as well as the shadow. So this is how you can create different animations. You can apply these animations to this GIF, and of course you can have one more animation in case if you want. Let's call it round. So what I'll be doing here is let's say, I mean, although you can have all this in one, I mean in this animation itself. So if you copy this to this line and if you copy this to this line, then of course it will work the same way. But I'm just giving you the example in case if you want to declare multiple animations and if you want to attach this multiple animation to the same div or class, how you can do that. So here let's call it border radius. Initially we want it as 0 pix, so we don't have any border radius, but we want border radius when it reaches to the 100th keyframe, and that we want it like, because we have a height and width like 100, so in case if we make it 50 pix, then it will be a circle. So let's copy this effect and apply here, comma, then to s. Okay, so here you can see three animations are applying here. One is slide, another is related to your shadow, and the final is the border radius. Now we'll come to the point what and how we can keep this animations. I mean, we want to stop at this position, so we are at the 100th frame, so that we can do with the animations fill mode. We want, as we said, backward, forward. So forward means 100th keyframe, so it will stop at 100th keyframe and it will not reset all these animations as it was doing earlier. So if we save and come back to the file, you can see now it is stopped at the 100th frame. So if you refresh again, it is start and then it stopped at the 100th frame. So that's a use of this fill mode. We have some other, we saw some other properties also related to animation. That was animation oh, it's spelling mistake, animation. And if you want the iterate multiple times, so we have iterations count. Let's make it 2. So how it will be doing, it will be going from 0 to 100 and then it will start again 0 to 100, 0 to 100, then it will 0 to 100 again. Now it is stopped. So this is this is how we can make it 2 times. And animations, let's see, direction as so normal is like a forward means from 0 to 100. In case if you want from if we set it as reverse, so it will start from 100 and will go to the 0, 100, go to 0, 100, then go to the 0. If save and we come back here, see it's a reverse, and then again why 2 times, because we have the iteration count 2. So if we saw that it start with this point, I mean from the circle, then it will, or the where the left margin was 500, then it goes to the 550, then come back to the 0, and now it's a stop. So this is how we can set this reverse. If you see, we have alternate also. What alternate says, when we have a multiple iterations count, so for every alternate iterations, it will be changing the directions from backward to the forward and forward to the backward. So if we say we'll see it goes there, then it come back to the original position. Now it is stopped. Why stopped? Because the two iterations has been complete and alternate is done. And in case if we want the alternate as reverse, so we can set the alternate as reverse. So now it start with 0 to there, then come back to here. So it's a start with 100, goes to 0, then 0 to 100 back. So let's see if we want to see any yeah, so it's time function. As we mentioned, we have some uh, default, that is easy in, is in out, and is out. So all these are one. We have linear also, yeah, linear. So linear is like it will have same speed when it is completing all these keyframes. Ease is it will start with the slow, in between it will be little faster, then at the end it will be a little slower. So I mean, this is something related to animation speed. And anything else, let's see, animations, delay, yeah. So delay is like when we want to start this animations after some time. So let's make it 1 second. So this animation will start after 1 second, and then other things will be the same. So if I save, if you see, it start with the 1 second, and because it is set to the reverse alternate, and let's make the count to the 1. So now alternate although will not make impact because we have this iteration counter 1, but you can see if we refresh, it will be its original position for 1 second, then animation will start. Let's refresh. 1 second, then animation start. So I think that's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching my videos. Please make it sure that you have subscribed my channel.